It's Friday, May 11th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, show number 764, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Save 25% on a fourth-generation hosting account by using the promo code NAB. New customers save 25% off your entire order by using promo code 25May3. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hey, folks, you know what comes next? Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Aloha and welcome to the Geek News Central podcast, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I want to encourage you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out our great content over there at GNC. And while you're at the website, make sure you get subscribed to the podcast. It's real easy to do. You find the link there to our RSS feed, iTunes, and the Zune Marketplace. Of course, you want to get signed up for our newsletter so that you can basically get all the show notes delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. And for those of you new to the show, we have a site that's specifically set up to put all the links for all the shows, all the articles I'm going to talk about tonight at gncshownotes.com. But how that link will be up in the show notes at geeknewscentral.com, so you'll be able to find them there. But hey, everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, it's been a few days, but a very, very busy day here in the Cochrane Ohana. My youngest, my 8-year-old, he, how should I say it? Has to sit by a side a girl in class who he doesn't like. A little bit of kids picking on him, using some common words that kids used on me when I was a kid in relation to my last name. And some of those types of things were coming down to the end of the year. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to him having a little break from school. It's always good to, at this age, to get a new teacher and new classmates. And so it's just, typical kid stuff. But for him, it's the end of the world. So I had to spend a little extra time tonight talking with him and basically kind of helping readjust his attitude and giving him some strategies. It's hard to talk strategies, bully strategies with 8-year-olds. Sometimes it's a challenge. They're so wrapped up in what's going on. It can be a big deal for them. But other than that, everything's fine. We're good here. We're heading into Mother's Day weekend. So dads and sons and daughters, make sure you remember mom and get her something nice. Take her out to eat. We're doing a little staycation. After Saturday morning tech, we're going to be loading up and going downtown and Waikiki and spending the weekend there. My kids have some events downtown this weekend, so we thought, we'll kill two birds with one stone. We'll get away, go to the beach, disconnect as much as we can, and enjoy it. So we're doing a little staycation, just a night. Not a big deal, but should be fun for the entire family. So let me just give you a little rundown on what's been going on. As always, you can reach out to me on the show on Twitter at Geek News. Of course, you can email me here, geeknews@gmail.com, or you can call the show hotline at 619-342-7365, which I neglected to even check tonight. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going through my stuff here. I will actually log in and see if there's anything on the invariable hotline. And yes, you can autofill that. And let's see what we have. Let's look and see if there's anything but spam messages, which has a tendency to show up in this voicemail inbox from time to time. 45 seconds. On the 3rd. Should we see if anyone actually called? Oh, you want me to download Java. All right. Well, we'll download you and we'll see what we get instead. Um, so let's talk here just a second about things going on here. Saturday Morning Tech, we're going to have that, of course, and we're going to have a live hangout. My live account got activated on Google Plus. I was playing around with it quite a little bit yesterday. I just haven't found yet the exact, for better words, getting it dialed in from an audio perspective, because the Google Plus account is kind of stupid when it comes to how it works with the flash, and it just forces your volume all the way full. And so I'm trying to find a happy medium where we can actually get good audio quality. But we'll do a hangout Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. It'll be live. We're probably going to do it so we can invite people, and then we'll announce, of course, and I'll be streaming it here no matter what, but it'll also be streaming on my website or my channel on YouTube and also on Google Plus. So we'll have more about that on the website on Saturday. Also, we've got a contest winner tonight. We'll announce that here in a few minutes and hook him up with a cool prize. But one thing I want to do announce is here's what we're going to do for the next show contest, all right? And you can see there's a theme going on here because May is thank you to our listener month. And thanks for being here and being part of the family and being part of the Ohana and staying subscribed to the show and putting up with my nuances and rants and raves and commentary and yawns and late night show type of production. But what we're going to do is what I'm looking for. And all you got to do is send me an email. This is a real easy one. So what I'm looking for is I want you to break the email up into 3 sections: beginning, content, and end. And what I really kind of want you to tell me was what do you like the best about the beginning of the show and what do you hate the most? And then on the content side, I want you to tell me, what percentage of the news and commentary that I talk about is stuff that you have not found on your own, or in other words, when you listen to the show, how old is it? Because I know many of you listen time delayed and you may not listen for a couple of days. Maybe you've heard some of the stuff already new. So what percentage of news that I cover in the show is stuff that you've automatically said, oh, I already heard that. I don't need to listen to that section. So, and also kind of give me an idea what you're feeling about the total show value. And then, of course, let's talk about the end of the show, because the show's broken up into 3 segments. My part here, where I do a little dialogue at the beginning, we get into the news, and then boom, at the end, we cover email and anytime someone's called into the show. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Just email me at geeknews@gmail.com. Those of you that do, you're going to go in the pool, and we're going to give you a prize, cool prize. I think we'll change it up a little bit for the next episode. But on this episode, we're going to go ahead and give away another Roku or a Apple TV on this one as well. And we've already given away 2, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But I made a judgment call. We got a number of these entries in, and really the best one came from one of our longtime fans of the show, someone that has been listening for forever. It really was a great idea. And I'm not even going to tell you. What I was looking for was what background to use on a green screen when I was on travel. So when we go green screen, when we start our next set of travel shows, if the green screen shows up, it's back ordered right now. But as soon as we get it into the mix, I'm going to be putting a new background up that we're going to change a little bit from time to time, but we're going to start out with a really cool one. I'm not going to tell you what it is now, but I want to congratulate Sam Garcia, one of our longtime Ohana listeners in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sam, congratulations. Let me know, Roku or an Apple TV, and one of the 2 items, and we'll get one shipped off to you. But his idea was really, really good. But there was about a dozen other ideas that came in. His was really the best one. Max had a pretty good one too, and that was a good one. So we may consider to put that as a kind of an alternate backup prize later. But Max from New York, your idea was really good as well. But I had to really choose Sam, and I'm just going to keep my lips sealed at this point and not share with you what Sam told me to use. But I think when you guys see it, you're going to be like, "Ah, perfect." So we'll do it later, and of course when I'm on travel next. And actually, my next trip is coming up this following weekend, after the Mother's Day weekend, I'll be flying out to Washington, D.C. on Saturday the 19th, and there'll be 2 shows in the D.C. area during the week of the 21st. And then I'll be back in Honolulu for a week, and then I have a special trip planned for the first week of June. And then pretty much the rest of June is going to be a crazy month. We'll talk about that as dates get closer. But lots to share with you here tonight on the tech side. Let's take care of a little business here right at the end before we get into the content. And actually, let's see on that file that came in if someone actually had if this was a sales pitch or if this was someone that actually called into the show. And I'm waiting. Come on, Winnie, load up, baby. Where are you at? I double-clicked.
Hi, Todd. It's Jessie Garner with Sonic Emotion. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to touch base about Geek News Central and see if it might be a fit for some stuff we've got in play. So we recently took our absolute 3D sound technology and made a consumer-facing app called Headquake. It was recently named the top 39 app on iTunes. It's also got a 4.5 out of 5-star rating. And we think it'd be a great fit. You know, we'd also love to have our CEO come on and kind of chat a little bit further about what this technology is doing to interrupt the audio industry. If you could give me a call whenever.
All right, I want to play her telephone number. So obviously a PR person calling the hotline to pitch me on a product. So you guys got to hear her pitch, and I'll go back and review that later. But I don't get too many PR people calling the pitch hotline, but we'll go back and find out what this disruptive technology is that they have and go from there. Kind of interesting, yeah? All right, so let's go ahead and take care of some business. First and foremost, of course, a longtime sponsor here at the show, GoDaddy.com. We want to thank them for being a sponsor on the show, and we want to make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy to check out all my promo codes. But I got a special one this month. I really do, and this is something that is going to be awesome for those of you that are not yet GoDaddy customers, and I know you should be, because if you've been listening to the show for a while, I've been able to save you a boatload of money. Matter of fact, I saved myself a boatload of money when I renewed a bunch of .coms today, and I renewed a bunch, well over 100. And when you can save nearly $1.50 a domain, it adds up quick. But we've got a 25% offer on your first order for those of you that are brand new and thinking about going and becoming a GoDaddy customer. You get domains, hosting accounts, dedicated servers. They help you with they've got every type of web service imaginable. They have it. And, I've talked in the past about those 4th generation hosting accounts and how we've stress tested those during CES and delivering just ungodly amounts of bandwidth on them. And really, we were a worst case, and we'd be the worst type of customer GoDaddy would ever want. But, we really hammered those 4GH hosting accounts, and it withstood an immense punishment. But you can save 25% on your first order. And this is a myriad of things you can buy by using the promo code 25May3. 25May3 is the code you'll want to use. And this is 25% off special offer. Now, at the same time, if you're an existing customer, we want to, again, offer up the 4th generation hosting account. They've got the ultimate right now at $849 a month. So just, let me give you an example here. So they've got it on sale at $849. So if I multiply that out because you got to do this for 12 months. And actually, 8.49 times 12, this upper level math, is $101.88. So if you take the 25% discount off, that's $25 off, $25.47 off. So really what you're getting here is you're getting this premium account, $75 divided by 12, it's $625 a month. And so really what happens with this unlimited account, this ultimate account, is that you get unlimited websites, you get unlimited space, unlimited bandwidth, essentially unlimited emails, unlimited MySQL databases. It goes on and on and on. And this is a huge, huge savings for any of you that want to save a bunch of money on a hosting account. And at that price, you can't go wrong. One for all my friends over there at GoDaddy. Anyway, thanks GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. Check the codes out, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. All right, let me go ahead and get into the full content tonight. of what I've got lined up here on the tech side. And I had a huge stack. I had to whittle it down a little bit and make it not so, I guess for a better word, there was just too much. I never got through everything in the time I allot myself. But I want to start off with is, I'm not a big fan of Wall Street stockbrokers. Now, I dabble myself once in a while in stock. I've done okay from time to time. And, I'm very conservative and I don't I don't invest very much in myself. I have a trading account that I use once in a blue moon. And that basically was from years and years of tracking certain companies and having hunches, and luckily some of those hunches paying off. And when it comes to reading portfolios and all that other crap, I have no clue on what I'm doing. And I'll be straight up with you. And it's, so I'm probably the worst type of guy to ever do investing, but I've gotten lucky and done okay. But, I'm not a big fan of these, living here in Hawaii, we have this, if you wear a suit in Hawaii, you're not from Hawaii. Because no one here really does businesses in coat, tie. And when I go back to the East Coast, everyone's wearing a sports jacket. And, here I'm showing up in an Aloha shirt and, bright and bushy tail. And to me, it just is the epitome of I could not handle having to be in corporate America where I have to wear a suit. Well, these Wall Street guys are all suit guys, right? So an analyst, his name is Michael Patcher, told Bloomberg TV in a recent meeting he had, along with some others, with Mark Zuckerberg. He says Zuckerberg wouldn't go to church in a hoodie. Why not? He continued, you shouldn't. You just showed the institution respect. And I think he didn't show respect on Wall Street. So this guy was pissed because he's wearing a hoodie and coming and pitching Facebook. The guy is going to be a billionaire in cash form, and he can wear whatever he wants. And, this guy ought to come to Hawaii and take his jacket off and wear an Aloha shirt. And if he ought to see how people go to church here in Hawaii. I guarantee you they're not wearing suits. There's kids in T-shirts, shorts, Aloha shirts, some people in slacks, polo shirts. Some people have bikinis on underneath and swimsuits on because they're going to the beach immediately after. And this guy's like, you wouldn't go to church in a hoodie? Maybe on the East Coast you wouldn't. But here in Honolulu, absolutely. Now, you wouldn't wear it up over your head and tighten down, per se. But, I'm sorry. I just had to talk about this. I know it has nothing really to do with tech and we're not a finance show. But these guys need to get off their high horses. Maybe they ought to wear an Aloha shirt once in a while, come to work in a T-shirt, let their hair down. Maybe they would help get this country out of trouble and make some money and not be like Goldman Sachs, I heard today lost another $2 billion on poor trading and some derivative crap that they had before. So, these guys have no reason to talk. They have done this country no good recently. And, they need to put their hair down a little bit. I think this guy's even from the West Coast. So, loosen up a little bit, please. Now, a Wall Street Journal article, which is really kind of complete opposite here on a topic, but a new DVR introduced by Dish Network wipes out advertisements. Now, check this out. If I was living in the lower 48, or the mainland as we say here in Honolulu, I think I'd have Dish. On Thursday, the satellite TV operator began offering its subscribers a new DVR feature that allows viewers to completely avoid commercials rather than just fast-forwarding through ads the old module digital video recorders do. It's called Auto Hop. Features come on a DVR dubbed the Hopper, A device has been available to subscribers since March. With AutoHop, viewers see a black screen momentarily where the ads were broadcast or a glimpse of the first frame of the first commercial. Then the show resumes. Consumers merely have to click an on-screen AutoHop button before a show to enable the feature. And you won't see an ad the entire time you're watching a television program. The Hopper DVR costs Dish subscribers $10 a month in addition to the $99 upfront fee. This is fantastic. Now, they also offer a more traditional DVR, but no upfront charge at a $6 a month fee. But if you can skip commercials for another $4, can you imagine the smoke coming out of Walt Disney, CBS, News Corp, Comcast, DirecTV? Dish is actually empowering people to skip commercials. Bravo, Dish. And I am sure that the marketeers are going to be very worried about this. Dish makes it clear that it isn't deleting advertising from the recorded material. If customers want to watch all the ads, they can. We spend hundreds of millions on advertising per year. Dish Mr. Kempf said, I don't think it makes a very big difference from our perspective to the advertising market. Because guess what? Those of us that can are already going to be fast forwarding anyway. This is cool. So, you're watching it. You don't have to fast forward, just click and the program starts again. What better TV is that? I'm serious. No commercials. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, you Dish Network folks out there, get your new DVR, all right? Okay, in a more interesting development, the Court of Hague has handed down another ruling that restricts access to the Pirate Bay website. The court has forbidden Dutch Pirate Party from linking to, operating, or listing websites that allow the public to circumvent a local Pirate Bay blockade. The political party is a further order to shut down its reverse proxy indefinitely and block Pirate Bay domains and IP addresses from its generic proxy. So, essentially, the Pirate Party can't run a proxy or something that helps people circumvent the Pirate Bay block. But don't worry, Dutch folks, there's plenty of proxies around that you can use. And but if the Pirate Party doesn't comply, the court's ruling faces a 5,000 kroner per day to a maximum penalty of 250,000 kroners per day. Wow. So anyway, they're doing their best. These judges, when are they going to figure out you're not going to be able to block the Pirate Bay? It won't happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way you can stop it. People are going to find ways to circumvent it. It's just it's futility, total futility at this point. Hey, big congratulations to Z Frank. Of course, he rose $200,000 with a Kickstarter project recently. But he raised money on a Kickstarter and he got a round of funding from Mark Anderson. It's the BuzzFeed co-founder, John Johnson, and Huffington Post co-founder, Jonah Petrie. And so anyway, he's going to be launching a new site that has me really intrigued because it has some elements of some stuff I wanted to do here in Hawaii or still want to do Hawaii. He's going to be... basically, he's trying to put together a set of programming that has like campaigns, daily campaigns, stuff that you would go out and do in regards to the program. They would set you up on a mission to do something, and it would be total immersion by the audience. You get them involved. It would be online gaming, or it would be not in the gambling sense, but games and interactivity type stuff. So he's got a pretty big amount of money so far. He's raised as much as $250,000 in a variety of different ways for this project. So we'll have to see what Z Frank does. Of course, Z Frank is known. He's the guy that is like all up in your face in the camera, where he has, I think, the camera about 2 feet from his face, and he's been known a long time on the internet, and probably made a lot of money off YouTube as well for his high video counts. The event that I'm really excited about, that's going to be announced on June 5th in New York City, is Airtime from Sean Fanning and Sean Parker. It's going to launch in June 5th. And Airtime, I'm really curious what they're going to do with this. It's been operating stealth mode, but they're taking the idea of chat roulette to the next level, pairing strangers for real-time video communications and sharing. So I don't know if this is going to be, it's going to be less about anonymous interaction, more about getting to know people. And I guess they're doing a closed beta test with around 4,000 monthly active users. So I haven't gotten an invite yet to Airtime, but I'm looking forward to trying it. And I'm hoping that this is going to be something that they are actively going to be watching, and it's going to be live streaming. It should be very cool. We'll see where it goes. Again, it's all about the interactivity and live stuff. So time will tell on this. Hey, there's a new site, ProxTube, unblocks U.S.-only YouTube videos for international viewers. So I know we have a large percentage of you, or a large number of you that are international. We have people that check in from, I think, just about every country on the planet. And I think we even have some alien visitors as well that listen to the show. But if you are using Chrome or Firefox, non-US users have obviously had issues seeing some YouTube stuff. But ProxTube is essentially an extension that automatically routes your traffic through a proxy server here in the United States, so that YouTube thinks you're visiting from a US location. And of course, this is not unlike some proxies that are out there for us to be able to watch BBC content, and it just automates the process for you. So I have the link up in the show notes for you to check out, and you'll definitely want to do that. Hey, those of you that are Verizon customers, Verizon's opening up some more LTE markets, and this is what's coming next for all of you. Here's the local in Maryland: Ocean City, Queen Anne's, Kent, Talbot County, Chestertown, Queenstown, Easton, New York City. We have Nassau County, Huntington, Suffolk County. In Virginia, Virginia Beach. Delaware is about, looks like all beach communities. Pennsylvania is Lancaster and York. New Jersey is Atlantic City, Toms River, Belmar, Seabright. In Massachusetts, it's Yarmouth, Sandwich, Massafie, Falmouth, Dennis, Bourne, Barnstable. So a number of areas, mostly East Coast cities and areas, are coming on with LTE this weekend. So you have a Mother's Day present there for you if you're in one of those areas. Hey, the SpaceX folks have rescheduled the Dragon launch for May 19th. I didn't catch that on the last show, what the actual date was. But right now, they're planning for a May 19th launch. So not too far away. We'll see how that goes. Of course, that it will happen on Saturday, May 19th. So we'll be able to watch the launch. Probably most of us will. The European Space Agency has declared that Enviasat Lost. Of course, this is a satellite that they'd had in orbit for quite a while that quit communicating. And they say they're going to have some scientists continue to try to work periodically over the next 2 months, but they are essentially calling the satellite dead at this point. And so it's too bad that they've lost this satellite and it's dead and just out there floating around. All right, Google Plus. How many of you are using Google Plus? If you're not using Google Plus, you're going to want, and especially if you're an iPhone user, you're going to want to check this app out. The Google Plus app is probably the most sexy app that Google has ever been able to produce. And it's stunning. And I think it's going to really help. Whoever designed it, wow. Bravo, bravo, bravo. So they refreshed the interface with a focus on basically a widgetization of the space. And they've kind of done a little different approach in the mobile space. And it focuses on design and usability. And they did not update the Android version of the app. It gets its turn in a few weeks. But this thing is amazing. And it got rave reviews over the last couple of days. So if you're wanting to, you'll be able to on Saturday to load that up and watch us live right from your iPhone and be able to participate. Of course, you can do so with your Chrome phone as well. Not Chrome, Google phone as well, your Android. And apparently the Android update's going to have a few surprises and a few bonus things for those of you that are Android users. Okay, let's got an article here from Wired. Google, if everything works out, Google may avoid paying a huge penalty to Oracle. A judge has moved to kill the third round of Google versus Oracle. And this epic legal battle has really come to a head here. But the judge has indicated he may eliminate the damages phases of the trial. The third and final phase is designed to decide if Google must pay Oracle for infringing on its copyright and patents. And of course, the way the jury came down, they really missed the mark on, well, they didn't miss the mark. They didn't find Google guilty in one of the key points. So we'll see. Now, the patent phase of the trial rolls on. So we'll see what happens with this. But the infringement stuff may not invoke a fine. But the patent stuff, we'll see where this happens. But the big stuff on the infringement is where there is where most of the money was to be made by Oracle, and time will tell how this turns out. But looks so far that the judge is favoring Google in a big way. Senator Patrick Leahy, I'd probably just destroyed his name. You know, I'm sorry if he's a senator in your district. I apologize, but it appears that the senators learned absolutely nothing from the public outcry over his ridiculous, overreaching Protect IP Act. So, at a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, which the White House IP czar, Victoria Espinel, suggested that perhaps the problem was solving itself via voluntary action, the senator continued to insist that legislation, I need to move my lips here, like PIPA, was needed. He says, voluntary efforts are wonderful, and I'm hoping that voluntary efforts will give us some confidence for legislation we need, because ultimately, we still need legislation. Voluntary efforts are wonderful, and I'm hoping the voluntary efforts work. That's what he should have said. Versus, we will give us some confidence for the legislation we need. These senators need to focus on the economy, getting people back to work, reducing how much money we're spending. Well, come on. You know, the people have spoken. They have not listened. All right, sadly, I had an interview with the folks from Heathkit, I believe at CES 2011. But for the second time since 1992, Heathkit Educational Services has shuttered its doors. This is too bad. In August 2011, Heathkit announced it was returning to the kit building business. So I guess it was CES 2012. And in September, it will once again be manufacturing amateur radio kits. On LinkedIn, a popular networking site, HES Chief Executive Officer Lori Markinack listed her employment ending at Heathkit as of March 2012. So this is bad. An unsubstantiated report on Wikipedia states that Heathkit laid off most of its employees, and the company indefinitely suspended operations. Says it looks like Heathkit is gone for good. This is a sad day. And if I had one of those bagpipe type deals, you know, those of us that are geeks, Heathkit is largely the reason that I ended up doing electronics as a career. Building radios. Those of you that don't know about Heathkits, I'm sorry. But imagine it's, 19 in the 70s. Okay, so I'll date myself here. In the early 70s, it's Christmas time. Pull a big box out from underneath the Christmas tree and open it up. And inside, here is this kit. and open the lid, and there's breadboards, and there's resistors, and there's transformers, and there's everything imaginable under the sun to build a radio, to build a small transmitter. I mean, the possibilities were endless, and I spent hours and hours and hours of my childhood wiring stuff up, trying different experiments, so when it came time for me in high school to go to Votech, I went into electronics program. I would join the Navy. I went into electronics. It was because of Heathkit, and this makes me sad because I was so excited to be able to see their new kits come online, because I could turn these over to my own kids and say, here, it could be, and it wouldn't have to be resistors and transformers. It could be digital stuff, and, let my kids play in the digital age. Luckily, we still have the folks from Make. They have all kinds of cool kits that they're selling, but nothing like the Heathkit kits from the day. And those of you that were there with me, those that you weren't, I'm sorry. But as you can tell, it pains me. And it really does. We were so excited. Andy McCaskey and I were so excited when we heard, that they were coming back online and going to start building kits again. Gosh, they never got another product out. It's really too bad. It really, really is. Okay. Now, I guess that's a good thing. If you have did you have a Heathkit as a kid? What did you build? I want to hear from you. And it's going to show a certain segment of the audience. And love to hear from you. 619-342-7365 or geeknews@gmail.com. Chkdsk. Every one of us has seen the Chkdsk screen, right? Many of us were used to run Chkdsk manually in DOS when we booted out of Windows. But now most people see Chkdsk when their machine has either gotten a blue screen of death or you power down incorrectly. You have to sit there and wait for it, right? It's verifying the files. It's doing the looking at the indexes. It's verifying security descriptors, and it goes on and on and on and on. Well, Chkdsk is changing, and as of Windows 8, it is going to be giving you the ability to skip some checks. It's going to be able to allow you to quick fix. This is pretty cool, what they're going to do with this, and we'll see how this works. But no longer you're going to have to sit there and wait for, if you have a 2 terabyte drive and Chkdsk starts, you might as well just go get a cup of coffee, take a 15-minute nap, because it's going to take a while to get through that drive. But we'll see where this leads. But Chkdsk is, those of you Apple guys, you said, what is that? But yes, the Windows folks, you will know Chkdsk well. Is there something equivalent on the Mac side? I don't think I've ever seen anything from the Mac side, or any type of screen that shows me that Apple's checking the disk. Maybe Apple's smart enough to know to check the disk without telling me that it's doing so. All right, new DVD anti-piracy warning now packs double the nag. And if you're getting a new Blu-ray or DVD, it now includes some new fresh anti-piracy messaging. A home security special agent badge is now partnered up with the FBI's own emblem on the new warning for the DVD. And it's unskippable. It says the unauthorized reproduction and distribution of this copyright work is illegal. Criminal copyright infringement is investigated by federal law enforcement agency, is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Then it goes on to say, it flips the screen and it puts up this sign for the National Intellectual Property Rights. It says, piracy is not a victimless crime. For more information on how digital theft harms the economy, please visit iprcenter.gov. So this is going to be the new thing you're going to see on DVDs. And, I asked my kids one time, what do you think of that message? And my son sums it up. That's not going to stop anybody. He says it smugly. That's not going to stop anybody. What use is that? But they're trying to scare those that they're trying to intimidate people by putting the FBI anti-piracy warning and the Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent badge. Um, I wonder if they, how sometimes those groups give out plastic ones, for kids. If anyone can find one of these Homeland Security investigation special agent badges that are like plastic ones that they give out on tours, I'd love to have one. Okay. Um, Spitballs on the chat room tonight says there's a disk utility on the Mac that you can run manually to verify the disk. Occasionally, you might need to repair permissions for some reason. Never run it, never looked at it. That tells you how much I've looked at the Mac. All right, Alliant Tech Systems, maybe not on the top of our tongue here, but has been plenty of space pedigree, specifically space shuttle motor pedigree. And so they're starting now to build up to compete with the folks of SpaceX and Astrium. And they are looking to be like the heavy haulers for NASA. They're designing a huge 300-foot rocket and composite crew module. And so this was originally designed for the Ares 1 program that was canceled, along with the Ariane 5 engine become the heaviest lifter in NASA's fleet of. So this is something new here. And what they want to do is they want this baby to be able to, lift the heavy loads that NASA needs to get into space. And they want to get basically this in gear within the next couple of years so that we don't have to pay Russia $63 million for every launch to the International Space Station on a Soyuz spacecraft. So we'll see. And we'll see if they get this thing going, if they're able to meet costs and everything like that. But we may have another player here, player in the space industry. I got a few articles over on Geek News Central I want to turn you on to if you haven't seen them already. Definitely go over to GNC. We got lots of great content over there. Our writers are busy doing stuff. Jeffrey Powers, one of of course, he's also the host of Geekazine at geekazine.com, wrote an article about the Blackmagic Intensity Extreme with Thunderbolt. This is a really nice device. Now, what you're going to find is you're buying new video cameras out there. They no longer have composite ports. They have a HDMI out. So if you're a Mac user, what you're going to want to do is really look at this Intensity Extreme. I've got one of these myself in the new portable kit. And really what it does is you plug your HDMI out from your Apple TV, from your camera, from a variety of different devices, and you plug this port into you plug the Thunderbolt port into your Mac, and you can do video capture. So, but they also have a dongle that you get with this that actually will hook up to anything that you had in the past that's composite still. So you can still plug composite stuff in and plug analog stuff into this. This is a great box. It's at $284 is the price on it, but it's a perfect way to add a 16:9 camera to your mix, and you can basically pull stuff in with Avid, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, DaVinci, Resolve, and many other programs. And you can even use it for a program like ScreenFlow to enhance the video with your face in the corner. So definitely check out the Blackmagic Intensity Extreme with Thunderbolt. This is a great box. Just plug it in. It works. It's simple. And I'm loving the little unit that I have. It's there and it does its thing. Also, a great article by Jen. She wrote up on basically talking about 55,000 Twitter accounts being hacked. And it turns out these accounts were largely spam accounts, but someone was able to get the username and password on these, and they put them up on a website and basically announced it. But Twitter has shut down the majority of these, so they were either dead accounts or ones that had, were spam type sites. So some people are speculating that there may have been some sort of a attack on these spam Twitter accounts, which in my opinion was cool, but is discerning that they are able to get the user accounts. All right, over the past couple of weeks, my son and I have been playing with this Akitio My Cloud Mini, and I wrote a review on it at Geek News Central. This thing was pretty awesome. It's real tiny. It's I think it's maybe 3.5 by 3.5 inches with maybe 1.25 inches tall. And it's basically a mini Linux server, and has a little bit of onboard memory, not too much, but you can either plug a USB stick into it or an eSATA drive, connect it to your network, and basically you log into it via IP, and you can basically got a full-blown Linux RAID compatible mini server. And basically you can access files from the cloud. You can be out and about with your iPhone or your Android and get access to media files or documents. You can even do it at your home, and you can serve to your Xbox or your Wii or your PlayStation videos from it. So this thing is cool. It's about $100. It's fun. And here's dads, moms, if you've got someone in the family that has this appetite to mess with electronics and computers, this is a good $100, I guess for a better word, Heathkit. Because when I got this, I opened it up, and when my son asked me, "What's that?" I said, "That's a server." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "A computer server." Oh. And you see his little eyes light up, And I said, "Well, let's plug it in and see what it will do." And we plugged it in and got it up and running. And he said, "Can I take that to my room and mess with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's got a hard line in his room, so he had it in there, and he come back a few times, asked me Linux specific questions and about this and that, and had to go to his room and talk to him. But he got totally enamored with this thing. And so the second day he came and he said, "Hey, do you have a drive, eSATA?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got an external eSATA over there on the shelf. Just don't delete any files off it. And if it wants to, format it, to come in here and we'll pull them off." And the next thing you know, he's like, hey, Dad, check this out. And he's in the garage with the Xbox, and he says, "Look at this. I'm watching some of your CES videos off this that drive." And he'd actually got it so he could remote into it. So pretty cool. Of course, it uses UPnP or DLNA as the protocol. Easy to set up in your home network. A lot of fun. The Akitio My Cloud Mini. And again, it's basically like a little server. And then again, you do have to put a hard drive on it. All right. This story has got me flipped out just a little bit. And I don't know what I'm going to do, because the United States Postal Service has outlawed the sending of iPads and Kindles to troops. Essentially, they're banning the shipment of all electronics with lithium-ion batteries. The ban starts May 16th and comes because lithium-ion batteries that are charged too fully and properly stored and properly packaged can explode. And they are banning the shipment of lithium-ion batteries. You can still ship with UPS or FedEx. If you're trying to send international, of course, you're going to pay a little more. Won't deliver to APO or FBO as well. So this sucks in a big way. And just another reason not to use the United States Postal Service. I run into trouble every year. I have all these batteries we take to CES. It's literally a box full. And all of them are lithium ion. And the airlines have rules on how much you're allowed to have in your checked baggage. They have to be plugged into the camera, so on and so forth. So it seems like it's always like 3 days before CES. I'm like, oh my God, I need to ship all the batteries. I have to FedEx them. But I never use the USPS anyway. But that means if you're going to sell an iPad, an iPhone, a Kindle, if you sell something on eBay, you will not be able to ship that via USPS. You have to use FedEx or UPS. You have to use Brown to do that, or again, FedEx. But just be aware that those shipments have been outlawed. Hey, just on a kind of a cool type article, I found one over on Gizmodo talking about an aircraft that was found in the Sahara Desert after 70 years, and it was nearly pristine condition, and pretty amazing story here. So I have a link in the show notes for you to check out. Just wanted to get you the by the way on that one. Gizmodo is reporting as well as Jungle Science. Millions actually didn't predict a 2012 apocalypse. Apparently, Reuters reporting the new findings are based on an ancient scribe that has just been mysteriously found. Isn't that funny? We're here in 2012, and they just find this ancient scribe, and appears to have annotated the scary apocalyptic Mayan calendar cited by Doomsday folks. The researchers who helped uncover and decipher the walls and inscriptions said that the Maya calendar foresaw a vast progression of time, with the December 2000 date the beginning of a new calendar cycle called a Baktun. He says they were looking at ways these cycles were turning, said William Saturno of Boston University, and author of an article on the find in the Journal of Science. The Maya calendar is going to keep on going for billions and trillions and octillions of years into the future, a huge number that we can't even wrap our heads around. They found this on a ancient script that they just found. So I guess world's not going to end in December. We're going to enter a new era. Amazing how these things come out. Look over there. Don't look over here. Look over there. Police raid a home. A man in his underwear grabs his samurai sword, and he starts stabbing his external hard drive. Now, I don't know if this guy had been out in the heat all day, but a 20-year-old man stabbed his hard drive with a two-handled samurai sword after the police stormed his house looking for evidence of child porn. He apparently did this all in his underwear while the police were present. How did he stab the hard drive with the police present in his underwear? Wouldn't they have, guy with the samurai sword, don't they have their guns pointed at this guy saying, drop the sword, drop the sword, And I just saw something else today. I guess in New York, it's not against the law to look at this material, and some judge ruled that, which is sick. But anyway, when the cops raid your house, don't grab your samurai sword while you're in your underwear. Oh my gosh. That just, people do some weird stuff, don't they? All right, folks, anyone got a spare $2,700 you can loan the Geek here at Geek News Central? Or better yet, does anyone have a connection with the Vivego Raven rollerboard suitcase? $2,700. The suitcase shock-absorbing wheels can traverse the roughest terrain. Have you ever been in New York City on their cobblestone sidewalks? Take it there and see how the wheels do. The Vivego Raven rollerboard suitcase are handmade, which explains the $2,700 price tag, but that means we don't have to feel every single bump and crack as we roll our carry-on down the sidewalk. It's definitely money well spent. I am not ever in my lifetime going to spend $2,700 on a suitcase. I'm sorry. I see people with Louis Vuitton bags. I see all this expensive luggage going into. Do you know what luggage people do with those bags? They beat them up, they throw them, they toss them. You want a bag that is nondescript, plain Jane bag, because if you get a guy that's all pissed off because he's having to work the morning shift, and your Louis Vuitton bag or your name brand bag that costs $5,000 rolls down the suitcase belt, what are you doing with that bag? You're grabbing that thing and you're throwing it, right? Because you're mad at the world because you're on a $15 an hour job. And you watch out the window when you're getting on an airplane, how guys put stuff on conveyor belts, loading into airplanes, and look at the nice bags and how they're treated over the old bags. You may be surprised. $2,700 for a suitcase. Someone smoking some weed. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm sorry I said it that way, but it's true. I just don't get it. People have more money than common sense at times, right? Okay, fellas, you got a beer gut? Like peppers? Well, the chili pepper may be the solution to getting rid of our beer guts. They found that surgically manipulating the vague nerves of the capsicum, the active component inside they found that surgically manipulating the vagus nerve by applying capsicum, the active component inside a chili paper, responsibly for its burning cessation, can help with weight loss. The vagus nerve is part of the brain that sends messages back and forth from the stomach to the noggin. The procedure being tested is called vagal deaffernation. It uses capsicum to deteriorate specific parts of the nerve so the brain can give the gut info, but the tummy can't send data back. This surgery resulted in a reduction of visceral fat, or beer belly in layman's terms. Interesting, huh? So they're using the chili pepper to help us lose weight. So does that mean if I start eating lots of hot food that I'm going to cause weight loss? They don't say if this thing's actually inside the gut. Some doctor out there, please read this. Should we start eating more spicy food? There's more than one way to skin a cat, according to weight loss as well. Hey, apparently Amazon's going to be launching its own tech blog. It's going to be called The Daily. Whew, that's a unique name. So time will tell on that. They've done some blogging in the past, but haven't been overly successful. Time will tell. Facebook IPO is being said to get a weaker than forecast demand, which means that they may not get as much money as they thought for the stock. I think this is going to be huge, no matter what people say. I think they can report all day long, but I think as soon as the stock goes on the market, it's going to get ate up like crazy. All right, remember the Pebble Smartwatch? Well, the Pebble Smartwatch topped 10 million in Kickstarter pledges, and they've sold all 85,000 watches. So if you got on that early, you've got one. If you didn't, it's too late. So very awesome. $8 to $10 million they raised on Kickstarter. Amazing amount of money. Make the watches and drink some beer, fellas. All right, Autodesk has launched 123D. It's just for your iPad. Lets you turn pics into 3D models. So it's a new application. It's from Autodesk, 123D for the iPad. So I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to check that out. All right, more on the tech side. Microsoft, you guys know I've had this infatuation of trying to get this show onto the Xbox. And actually, we've been working through some of the things we've put in our PowerPress plugin to kind of help, grease the wheels. But did you know the Xbox is the most popular video player in the US? Here's the deal. iPad gets 27.1% of video watches, iPhone 19.4%, Android 15.2%, iPod Touch 10.1%, Xbox 28.2%. Data shows that the Xbox gaming console is the most popular non-PC device to watch web video. Interesting, eh? So I wonder if they included set-top boxes like the Roku and Boxy in this. I know what we're doing on views for Roxy and Samsung Smart TV and Google TV. And if the Xbox has that many people, my God, this show would have a huge increase. But we're going to continue to work to get this show into the Xbox any way we can. Socialcam, I did a review on Geek News Central on Socialcam. They did a pretty favorable one, and they actually added Geek News Central to Socialcam. But I thought they were going to be pulling my videos, but they don't. They link to my YouTube account, and anytime I watch something on YouTube, it gets into my Socialcam feed for Geek News Central, which is weird. Well, apparently Socialcam is basically helping itself by marketing and putting in content from YouTube. And I don't know if I'm that overwhelmed with that application at this point. It's just kind of weird what they're doing. Any of you loaded Socialcam at all and used it? Love to hear from you. Hey, the folks over at Bing Bing is it's going through a major rework, and Bing is going to be introducing social search versus Google Search Plus. And basically, what they've done here is the new Bing launch is going to be giving us three sections. It's going to be giving us normal results. It's going to be giving us stuff that's social media related and stuff that basically then is our friend recommendations. So it's going to be like a 3-segmented thing on their website. So lots of talk about that earlier today. It kind of fell off this afternoon, but watch for updates on Bing. I've actually been using Bing a lot more lately for some reason, and I be honest with you, I'm finding better search results with it than Google at times. All right, if you're a Mac user, the Adobe Photoshop Lightroom 4 is available on the Mac App Store for $149.99. So if you are a user of that, you now can get it via the Mac App Store, okay? Just let you know. There's an article over on The Verge that is probably the article of the night that I want everyone to read. Internet marketeers, and I know, sadly, I know a few of them, and in my opinion, I don't trust them any farther than I can throw them, but I've heard some of the stuff that some of these internet marketers do. I've never been involved in the space, would not be involved in the space. I think it's scammy. I think it's not good. And I think the only people that get rich are the folks that are basically pitching junk. And pitching they do. They have a network of pitch people that use the internet and the fear of the economy to play basically the long play con. And I want you to really go through, and if you've ever thought about doing a business from your home, something on the internet, be very, very careful and only work with very reputable companies and have very reputable references, because there's all types of scams out there, and some of them are using long-term plays by getting to know you and talking to you and relating to you, and they're just lying to you. And they're trying to get your money, trying to get you to come to seminars, trying to get you to buy little ebooks and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is a long article to read, and if you watch all the videos, you're going to be here a while, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to get an education on how the scam world of the internet marketeers work. And I'd love to hear your comments on this after you go through and just summarize if you knew about this or if you knew how this underworld works of scammers. And these are truly modern snake oil salesmen. Okay? I just tell you straight up. And I think most of them are sleazy. And again, sadly, I know a couple. And if they listen to the show, you guys know who you are. I've never been involved in this, but, it's one of those things where I detest it, quite frankly. So I'll have the link up in the show notes. You can check it out. And some of you that know me know who these same people are. All right. Are we being driven by a 24-hour news cycle? I read an article tonight on the New York Times by a guy by the name of, it was about a guy named Joe Westenhall. And I hate to say it, but this guy is headed for a heart attack or a meltdown. And when you read this, you have to feel sorry for this guy. This is not life. What this guy is doing is beyond bizarre, beyond compulsive type behavior. It's basically about not just working and blogging 15 articles a day and watching financial news. I have the link in the show notes. It's really quite sad, to be honest with you. All right, got to hurry up and get through here. Identity theft, grave robbing for a tax refund. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but this is a huge increase this year. So if you've had any trouble with your IRS filing, or if you basically have had someone depart recently, yes, depart this world, I definitely want to be careful, because there's lots of scammers out there using dead people's social security number to get tax returns that they shouldn't be. The Yahoo CEO has told their colleagues that he didn't provide company with false bio information. So basically, he's saying, hey, I didn't tell him that I didn't go to that college or did or didn't. So people are still calling for his resignation, but it looks like this storm may pass. We'll see. If any of you are still living with Internet Explorer 6, the folks over at Ars Technica have put together an article, 6 Ways to Ease the Pain. I'll have the link up in the show notes on that. The Foxconn factory, they're going to be improving factory conditions. Apple has agreed to pitch in on cost. I don't know how much they're going to pay, but Apple's going to help out with the improving the Foxconn factory conditions. In the more legislative news, Congress is, and also state of California is moving to keep Facebook passwords private for employers. So this is good. We'll see where this goes over time. But Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat of Connecticut, and Representative Martin Henrich, Democrat of New Mexico, and Ed Perlmutter, Democrat of Colorado, have basically proposed similar legislation to keep the companies from asking. I think this is a good one. I think they shouldn't be asked to ask any password, to be honest with you, of your personal accounts. Okay, last 3 articles here for tonight. A Tucson man has won a space trip to the space. Tucson man wins space trip in Space Needle contest. So a guy from Tucson, Arizona has won a trip to space, and so congratulations to him. Very cool way. I guess he entered a contest of about 50,000 people had, and he was the one that won. So I'll have the link up on that. How many of you use LastPass? Well, occasionally you need to share a password with someone. If you are using LastPass, I got a great tutorial for you on how to do that, lastpass.com. And that wraps it up. Actually, we covered this article earlier, so that was a double. Let me go ahead and open up email. And let's see what we have. Let me look at the date of the last show. The last show was on, okay, so let me look here. I've got an email from, Ross. Hey, he says, hey, Todd, I sent you an email with my address. Thanks for the greatest podcast and also the contest. Congratulations, Ross, on your win. Want to thank, got an email here from a guy by the name of Jason. He said, hey, Todd, you mentioned on the May 8th show that the Department of Homeland Security directed hacked organizations not to stop the attack as long as the organization was up and running. He says, while I was not familiar with the DHS directive, I am familiar with what is called an APT, or Advanced Persistent Threat, which is a type of computer system attack. From what the security industry knows of these, it is the goal of these attacks, from what the security industry knows of these, is that the goal of these attacks is not to bring down or sabotage systems, but to gather information from the organizations. It seems that the attackers are trying to obtain intellectual property, or IP, from private and government organizations. These attacks are extremely advanced, and once compromised, it is nearly impossible to eradicate the systems of the attackers' utilities unless the network is rebuilt from the ground up. I don't mean restored from backup, as attack is usually not detected for a long period of time. There are articles on the web on APT from security vendors which provide more details on these attacks. So if you want to look up APT, Advanced Persistent Threat, and of course I want to thank Jason for his email. And Jason, you got lots of security titles there, dude. You want to do some Linux lockdowns? Do you do that, or is that are you above that level? Always looking for people to take a look at my servers and say, "Yep, you've got them dialed in right." I want to thank Sean for his show idea. We'll be talking with Sean, and appreciate that. Got an email here from Robert. He said, oh, he was basically, Robert had commented on the Google traffic loss. And he says it's probably not due to GNC show notes. So I will say, Robert, that the traffic, since we've started moving the show notes off the blog post and over to gncshownotes.com, I'm already seeing an uptick in traffic. We gained, I think I'm about, if the traffic stays for a couple more days back to where it was, we've regained 45% of the lost traffic. Maybe not that much, but I definitely saw a rise over the last couple of days. But Robert provided a bunch of links here. I'll put those up in the show notes for those of you that may have been impacted as well. That's all we had in the show notes. That's all we had on the show tonight. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. Don't forget the new contest. We want you to participate. A little more of a homework project for all of you on the contest. Of course, we talked about at the beginning of the show. I won't cover it again. But as always, make sure you think about Saturday Morning Tech. Come join me at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern for our Saturday show. And then, of course, don't forget, we got the Gadget Professor that just released a show tonight that's available at GNC. Don't forget Robot Underpants as well. 2 completely different shows than this show. And I'm sure we're going to be bringing some new shows to the network here in the near future. It's been my pleasure. Oh, one last thing. If you are a fan of this show, you know, I'm going to be serious here for a second. If you're a fan of this show, please don't be such a fan that you would impersonate me on another website. Had a little incident this evening, and we are going to investigate. But I got an email from a site that basically said, Todd, were you on my website tonight? I said, no. He said, well, someone came into our chat room impersonating you. And basically, I didn't think it was you because the person was acting out of character. And quite honestly, I had never been on this guy's chat session. But if you live south of Gary, Indiana, specifically in Roselawn or Hebron areas in Indiana, and you're a fan of the show, please don't do that again. Someone a little overzealous fan of the show, really, wasn't cool. Okay. So, if I figure out who you are, I will be reaching out to you and, basically sending you a cease and desist email and maybe even a legal notice. It's just one of those things, we all have fun. I know you're passionate about this show. I share a lot about what's happening around here and in the business and everything else. And, but please do not impersonate me. Okay. It's luckily the server that you're on, you could not use my chat title because that is basically locked behind a password. But, again, if you're in the NITCO, Northwestern Indiana, if you get to the internet via the Northwestern Indiana Telephone Company and you're a fan here, please, I just ask you, it's not cool. Don't do it again. All right, that's it. Thanks. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.